Well, I would say that there is that and more than that.
Quick answer. So, there?
Yeah, it's just a very down-to-earth remark. Even if you say you have to be over-ambitiously business-wise, I'm not sure if conferences in Thailand and Mumbai, even though I like to go myself there personally, will be attracting people from businesses for just a one-day discussion. So if you want to rally the people, you should not organize your meetings too far away from them.
That's a very good point. But anyway, I think these conferences often in nature, yeah, either they draw business people or they don't. Yeah, some of them, like the speech conference, does. Yeah, some others don't. And we would not really, we use just opportunities of conferences to talk to the communities that are present there. But you're right, we should make sure that there are enough conferences nearby also, yeah, where people have the opportunity. And in addition, of course, technology or industry will also be invited to the consultation meetings, so to Luxembourg. But whenever you have any industry fora that you go to anywhere, yeah, that would be also like the TECOM conference for or any speech or interaction technology. Yeah, so that would be also good fora, not just scientific conferences.
We are already over the time. There are 2 comments waiting there, and then Svel and Lara.
Okay, I'll make this quite quick. Eric Ketzen, Institute for Deutsche Sprache. Allow me just to make what is hopefully a provocative statement. There's one big problem with MetaNet's vision statement, and it's too vague. You know, what does it mean? Why are we here? So allow me to just suggest in the future, one thing to think about is not what MetaNet is for, which is what everyone's for. You know, everything in every language, support for small languages. But maybe we should think about what is MetaNet against? You know, what do we oppose? What does this group oppose? And that discussion could start with the 2 big elephants in the room.
Yeah. Sorry, we could, for some reason, some acoustic problem, we could not, I could not understand your suggestion, but there's...
In one sentence, you know, MetaNet may not need to think what it's for. Maybe it needs to think what it's against.
I see. we should say what we are against, or no, what we are for?
As one way of attacking the problem, that, as I see it, which is the MetaNet's vision statement is too vague.
Yeah. The vision statement is too vague.
What we
Which
can.
one? Which one? Which one? Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's, no, say you've got to need to roll up your sleeves and do something now.
To have something very
Otherwise...
yes, otherwise very, yeah, so, I see, okay, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't, for some reason the acoustics was not good, but it's, the idea is to have a very, very strong, even maybe with a strong negative, sentence, a slogan that calls people for absolutely immediate urgent action, yeah, something like this?
The end product and the end vision statement doesn't have to be negative, but
okay,
this approach could help us find a more powerful one.
Okay. Okay, going through the negative and then again to the yes. Yeah, okay, good. That we should try. That's it.
Now, Svel.
Maybe I can take this opportunity. I think one problem we have when you consider the priority of language technology, if you go to different areas of industry, I mean, nobody will say that it's first priority. Okay, if you go to automotive, if you go to aerospace, if you go to integrated circuits, and you ask those big companies what their priority, no one will say it's multilingualism or language technologies, okay? And the problem is that as we see, there are many small priorities in many different areas. And the problem is how to gather all those small priorities, add them, and show that it's a big priority. And this has to be political. And that's, I think, one problem we are facing. I mean, you know, if a company Dassault goes together with Airbus and goes to the Commission and say our field is very important, I mean, they will be heard. I mean, in our case, how can we gather many people in many different areas saying that we have small priorities in language technologies and that all together it's a big one?
Now the last comment.
I think the last comment was somewhat similar to what I wanted to say. Right now in India, we are developing the language technologies, but we are far away from their integration into the real life applications. And when you come to business, because in India, English is majorly spoken by the ICT community, which is right now using majorly the ICT tools and techniques. So the people who are yet to use, it makes a meaning for them. So it's a chicken and egg situation. Industry is waiting. The demand is not there, and demand cannot be created unless the products are brought into the market. So we are badly trapped in this situation. So I think your words, LT-centric solutions, takes it to a little higher plane. And when it comes to the industry, recently we had an open house meet with the industry, where industry was called in to get ideas what should be done for the 12th plan in the country, because we are chalking out our 5-year 12th plan in each area what we need to do. So in the IT sector, when industry was invited, see, industry will either talk of the incentives. If you say, please integrate the language solutions, they'll say, oh, please give us incentives. If you give us incentives, we'll be able to sell our products at a, you know, because it needs extra effort to integrate the language technology solutions into the same product which I'm having in English. So I invest more into it. So for getting that return, please subsidize my inputs or give me some incentive in some shape. So it's a very difficult thing to achieve as such. But I think in your case, we rather were looking for learning solutions, because you have definitely integrated some of the language technology into the business and market, whereas we are far away from that. As you said, the political will and the policy initiatives are also factors which can contribute to this breaking of the situation. But, you know, until unless the technology is so mature, you cannot go to the policy implementation level saying that it's compulsory or please do it. Otherwise, you can't sell your product. So that's an extreme step, which probably when the technology is very mature, you can take it. So right now, the situation is not ripe for that also. Because as you said, we are also testing MT systems by, you know, taking 3 separate kind of audiences. One is translator, normal user, native language, or the person who knows both the languages, source language and the target language. And then average, you know, weightage evaluation. But these evaluations are all very subjective. And translators are yet not ready to get convinced about the use of technology in this area. So we are far away from those goals. So I think LT-centric solutions is an intermediate approach. And maybe identifying some verticals for that. Because by and large, industry may not be interested. Thank you.
Thanks. You are.
I can briefly add this. One of the main topic in the discussions with industry when it comes to covering all the languages that were discussed today will indeed be the question from industry, what's in there for us? Yeah? What can we? And if our hope is, of course, that the companies don't want to get paid for every copy they sell, yeah. So that, but if they can already get lots of resources, yeah, in their that otherwise are very costly, yeah, for the production, yeah, and many base technologies, and if we find commercialization schemes that allow these things for smaller languages. That needs to be discussed now with industry, with the funding agencies, whether they like these schemes or not and support it and not in the commercialization plans. And so then I hope that we have also some good arguments for the companies. Yeah? I think everything that goes beyond that, yeah, let's say subsidizing a whole industry, that would be maybe almost a little much for a research and innovation agenda, because that's going into policy making on how to deal with a language. But I think even here there should be enough incentive. We are optimistic at this point, yeah? And what we got as feedback from many companies is already, yes, right now our developments and research costs for some of these languages are too big. Yeah? If some communal activity can help us to reduce these considerably, then we would be in business. Let's hope.